Entitled, baby.
I've been trapping all day, couldn't get away from my dope scale. I'm a coast stunner, road runner, you got no bells. More money, I need more sales. Make it hell, make it hell.
Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors, episode 4. We're here, just me and Jen today. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about with you guys. As you can see, I'm sure things look and sound a lot better. We've recently invested about $1,500 into equipment in the last 2 weeks alone, and just in that period of time have learned and grown and absorbed so many different things from so many different opportunities. So we're kind of just taking the chance today to sit down with you guys, talk about everything we have going on, everything we have coming up in the future, and just general topics, honestly.
Yeah, first things first, I want to come to you guys and say thank you for the love and support. Whether it's been his Instagram, my Instagram, y'all have been showing hella love to the polls. Y'all have been giving great feedback. I've gotten a lot of criticism. And I just want to say thank you for everything. It truly does mean a lot. The only way we're going to get better is if you tell us what we're doing wrong and what you want to see. And that's the only thing ways things are going to change, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate all the love. I know this is just the beginning, and it probably really ain't nothing to most people. But, it means a lot to us. And let's get started. So first things first I want to talk about is upcoming things we got going. I know we have a lot of podcasts coming up. I don't know if any of y'all follow my Instagram or been keeping it up, but here soon we're gonna have Tracy Reeder this week.
Yep, Tracy Reeder.
MMA
fighter out of Claremore, #1 lightweight in Oklahoma. So
we're gonna have Tracy Reeder this Friday. We're gonna have Jediah KO, big town favorite. We also got BTD DD, another crazy town favorite. And then after the next couple rappers, we're going to take a break from rappers for a while because, we've started to realize that, this isn't only a podcast for music artists, and we don't want to scare away anybody that wants to come sit down that necessarily doesn't make music. And then another big one we got coming up in the next couple weeks, Gerald Harris. That's going to be a crazy episode. He's coming back from a men's national wrestling tournament across the country. Or in a different country, actually.
It's not national, it's worlds.
It's a world tournament.
Master Worlds for freestyle and Greco. So it'll be exciting to get to sit down and talk with him. Quite literally just a real town legend, UFC veteran, stand-up comedian.
Tulsa Public Schools Hall of Fame.
Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Hall of Fame, Division I athlete, over 100 wins in college. I mean, the list goes on and on. State champion as a coach. Team state champion. He takes teams around the country. This is somebody who really is giving back to the community and touching people in all aspects of life. So it'll be good to sit down.
So that's a big episode for us. That's really going to give us a different a different demographic than we already have, because a lot of people are just being like, well, you guys are kind of like come through Tulsa. No, in a way we're like come through Tulsa, but come through Tulsa.
We listen to town music, so naturally, we're going to want to talk to people.
We're not trying to bite their swag. Shout out to King Spence. Has been like a mentor to us.
Always shout out to King Spence.
He's put us on so much game, given us so much opportunity, and just a few times we've sat down and talked with him, and that's big. And then I can't give really too many details about it, but us and SDO, Since Day One Entertainment, are coming together and throwing a show by the end of this year. We're hoping around middle of December, right after the Rod Wave show, but also not too close to Christmas. So it's going to be a good opportunity.
When you know, you'll know.
Oh, when you know, you're going to know.
When you know, I promise you.
This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but this lineup that we have for you guys, the day I can sit down and post a flyer with this lineup and see y'all's reaction,
it might actually fuck the city up.
There's no other lineup that you can have. I'm not even talk too much about it. Also,
when you know, you'll know.
Also, we got a lot of things coming. We're going to talk about a new team member we have here recently. We've added 2 new team members. One of them's familiar. One of them's probably not familiar to you guys. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about, let's just jump straight into it, though. So, first topic of the day, like I said, just me and Nate. So, I seen on Facebook today, hopefully we might be able to get a picture of it up on the screen. Tulsa State Fair. Tulsa State Fair, I guess someone got killed at the OKC one last week.
Tulsa State Fair, like a light version of the Purge.
So, I guess new rules. If you're 17 and under, you must be you must have a 21-year-old with you after 7 or 6 p.m., I think. and only a 21-year-old can only account for 5 people.
Man. I remember when me and Jim were kids, our parents we'd be 10 years old. Our parents would quite literally pull up and drop us off at the place where you go in and get your mega ride pass. And like, all right, see y'all at midnight.
Literally.
Be out there all night.
That boy Nate was out.
It.
Oh, man. We got so many funny stories at the state fair. I remember I shut down the whole concert. Break dancing when I was a little kid. Had the whole concert surround me. Oh, man. There's been so many great memories out there. But, yeah, so I mean, I want to know you guys' opinions on that. Like, what's your thoughts? Do you think it's going to work? Because me and Bobo was just on the phone, and I was talking to him. He goes, there's so many of them, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. And I said, all it's going to take is for one little black kid to be like, this is racism, and then it's going to be done with. They're going to be like, fuck it. You know, they're not going to step on those eggshells. But,
I'm an orphan. I don't have it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to work.
I'd be out there on some bullshit if I was a kid.
Because you got to think. What if you walk up to a motherfucker that looks 16 and he's 24?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, like...
How are they going to regulate that? Because when I was 14, I looked 17, you know what I'm saying? If they walked up to me, I'd just be like, oh, I don't carry ID on me. What other way do they have to prove that I'm not? Do you want me to call my mom real quick or something?
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to work. I think it's more of just a scare tactic.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of a scare tactic to, like, slow things down. Because I ain't going to lie, the politics in the city right now are mad janky. And most of the killings and shootings are coming from people from the ages about 14 to about 19. So I think they understand that.
Sure. If you keep up with, like, even just shit on Facebook that you're seeing on, like, the news. And
you're seeing 15-year-olds getting double life sentences for killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't watch the news like that, but I still see the shit. So.
You know, like I was telling Bubba today, I'm making shirts. It says paper with the diffraction sign, and it's over politics. Paper over politics, man. All this killing each other's shit, man. I know right now as a kid, it seems like it's your only option. But once you hit my age, 24, 25 years old, you realize it's fucking pointless. Honestly, it's really, you know, right now, you know, whether you're chasing love or like you just want someone to feel like you're a part of something, you know, I understand there's a lot of reasons you might want to do that life. There's nothing good that comes from it. You're going to lose people. You might even lose your life. You might have to lose your freedom. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? I understand some people don't have no choice, but if you have the choice, you have a choice to get away from it, don't stick around. That's just not smart. It's not pee. Not pee at all.
And like you said, if you feel like, you know, that's your only option, I promise your options are going to be a lot more limited in the future of what you can do if you choose to take that option. You know
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's just... It's not good all around. You know, Weekend Warriors don't promote any type of violence, any type of hate, any type of negative energy. We're all about pushing positive energy and, you know, really trying to build up people around us because in the end, that's what's going to build us up.
Like I said, paper over politics, man.
But shit, on a lighter note, me and Jim were honestly talking about going out to the fair and probably getting some content out there this year. So y'all will be seeing some fair content coming soon. You know, some more Q&A type content just out there.
More of like Instagram reel content.
Yeah,
not really channel content, just Instagram reel content.
Just tapping in with the people, asking them questions, getting some funny reels, stuff like that.
And hopefully by then, we might have some better in the field mics too, because you know, come through Tulsa, it might be something we shoot with them. We got a lot of things coming with them too, and they're planning on getting us some better shit for the in the field shit. So hopefully by then we have a little bit better shit, because I know our in the field mics we shot a couple times and. You know, they're... You know,
it's hit and miss.
It was hit or miss. You know, I mean, we had a couple clips where we didn't even turn the mics on, but, you know, it's all right. We were drunk. It's all right. All you see is about our bodies, and you can just hear Kylie behind the mic breathing.
Nah, man, but fair time always takes me back for real. Like, I was thinking about this the other day when I seen the fair was coming back into town. It got me kind of reminiscing on, like, things when I was a kid. I was sitting there thinking, like, how there's all the viral challenges now and like TikTok and things like that. Bro, I remember like some of the challenges when we were kids. That shit had motherfuckers near death, bro. Like one time
the ice and salt challenge, bro, motherfuckers really burning themselves.
Their skin and shit. I remember one time I did the cinnamon challenge at my little friend's house. I was in like 7th grade. Bro, I put a mouthful of like a spoonful of cinnamon in my mouth. Boy, I couldn't breathe for about a minute. That shit coated my whole mouth, throat, everything.
Man.
Bro, I went to breathe and it just shot like a little little cloud of
No
cinnamon
bullshit.
out of my mouth.
Real life facts. I learned every negative aspect of my life at Jake Swanson's house. If you know Jake, do your homework on Jake Swanson's house.
Jake Swanson's watching right now. Shout out.
Bro, I swear, Jake Swanson's house, man, that motherfucker had us doing a salt and ice challenge, cinnamon challenge, eraser challenge. This motherfucker Jake Swanson, you swore he was getting beat at home. He would have the eraser challenge, the salt challenge. He would post a video of him coughing
Bro
on.
just fucking himself up.
Bro was down for any sort of thing that caused pain. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we used to do the craziest shit. Like, we used to do shit that was unnecessary. We used to go outside at like 4 a.m. and just run from cars. We'd wait for the car to get up close to us and just start taking off running. Just for no reason. Like, just doing dumb shit.
Yeah, me and that boy Jim would be out on the trampoline, and they had a little privacy fence in their backyard, and it was right by a main road. We'd be out there jumping on the trampoline. We'd jump up, see a car coming, flip the car off, go back down. I remember one day we did that shit, the car stopped, but bro, we took off inside.
And I remember we used to do that shit with Dakota. Dakota would literally fucking show his whole ass, pull his whole drawers down. Bro, we used to just do dumb shit. I'll never forget one of the times I remember back when you lived out in East Tulsa. Do you remember when them people came and they fucking ghost rided the whip all the way down the block?
The whole damn street.
The whole street. These motherfuckers had this car. Man, now I think about it now that I'm an adult, the alignment on that car had to be insane. That motherfucker went straight for 2 miles. Man, bro, I remember to this day, they had to be Bloods. I don't know what, they were all red car. I'm like, so this is a 4-seating car, and there's 7 motherfuckers right here. Who's walking? Who's walking? Man, that's just crazy.
Bro, I'm convinced they ghost rided the whip all the way to where they was going, bro.
Music playing. I remember we're playing basketball on the hoop with the chain net, plastic backboard. We're just like...
Literally, everybody just stopped. We were just like, nice.
And we're like, that's you, dog.
Oh, shit. Nah, bro. It was a trip growing up in East Tulsa, though. There was always something to do over there, whether you was going to the flea market on the weekends or walking down to the drive-in movie theater or whatever it might be. There was always something to do in East Tulsa. Man.
Your neighbors had the hardest pool setup of all time. His neighbors built a deck around their pool, right? And on the deck, they built a tree house. They built a whole, like...
It wasn't into a tree, but it was like a tree house.
They built like a whole...
It was like a lifted fort. It was
like
they
built
12-foot tall fort.
They built a fort on the deck, and you could jump out the fort into the pool. They had a basketball goal in the pool.
We slide the trampoline up.
You could jump the trampoline into the pool. Like, you could literally have a whole pool Olympics in their backyard. Like, you had the high dive, you had the hoops, you had the...
Man, yeah, if we're shouting out people's houses, shouts out Christian Woodson. Hey, Christian Woodson, if you're watching right now...
Spent a lot of our childhood in that
I
motherfucker,
appreciate you
for
always
real.
being good to a motherfucker, for real, man.
Man, for real. But another thing we were talking about, we've been talking about potential guests. Every single guest that we have on here, disclaimer, isn't going to be somebody. I feel like people are like, well, don't you think you're going to run out of people to interview? No, you guys don't understand.
Not at all.
We have a segment we want to do where we dead ass walk into Home Depot and find a fucking old motherfucker and be like, come on the podcast.
Just find some random person, just the most random looking individual. It looks like they'd have some shit to talk about and just be like, hey, could you lend us 30, 40 minutes of your time to come sit down, chop it up with us? You know, we'll get you a drink, we'll get you a little smoke.
Pack of cigarettes, whatever you need.
Whatever you need, just to get you to the spot. Now, believe it or no, we're gonna be, trailing them. They try to run off. They try to run off with some shit.
Oh, another big thing we got coming up. Shout out to my boys at SP3, Jediah KO, Tristan Prophet. So it is confirmed now. We are collabing on their coat drive this year. As you know, they've done a coat drive for I think the last 2 years. They're on Fox 23. Had one of the biggest donations of all time to the coat drive. We're gonna be teaming up with them. The details are still unsure, but we are paper to paper agreeing on doing it. And I think they're also going to collab on Toys with Tots with us. So we're going to do that too. So basically, that being said is, if anyone wants to be involved, whether it's helping set up booths, putting the booths somewhere, sitting down at it for a few hours, let us know. The more the better. This is going to a good cause. And like I said, none of this shit will be filmed. Like, we're
not doing this.
If anything, only time
just community outreach.
This is community outreach. We're not setting this up to film it and get money, like try to get like clicks from doing shit. The only time you'll probably ever see this is if I'm on location somewhere and want y'all to pull up and come donate something. So don't feel like this is just like we're trying to better our image.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
do something positive for the community.
And the only reason I'm talking about it now is because I hope some of y'all will come donate this for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff I've always loved to do, is help people and less fortunate, especially right now. Our economy's fucked. Like, the average Joe can't even really make it in today's America. You know what I'm saying? So, to be able to help somebody, if you have the opportunity to, it's always great. And, yeah, basically, I just want to get that out there. What else we got going? I know we're going to have some... I know, ladies, we're going to have some girls on the podcast soon. I know we're going to have his sister. His sister's one of the more known females in the city. I wouldn't say she's necessarily city famous, but she thinks she is.
Yeah, so she might say that.
So we're gonna have her and some of her friends. They're real bougie. The girls you see that fly to Miami every other weekend and do crazy shit.
Q&A type scenario. We do maybe some more female type topics, or we'll just let them talk about what they want to talk about. I know they're business owners and they have their own ventures and they're always going out of town and shit. So they'll definitely have some interesting stuff to touch on.
And also another thing is we're also interested in adding more people to our team. And what does that entail? That entails is there's sometimes like for an episode right now, maybe we'd have a third personality on here just sit down and cut it up. Or like for me, for an example, for like let's say we have Gerald Harris coming up. Maybe I sit down for half the podcast and let my homie Malik sit down. Because I talked to my homie Malik about Gerald, and I guess Gerald actually mentored him for his first 2 years of his career. And I guess he actually...
No, I'm sure, yeah, he also owns an MMA gym in Tulsa. So,
yeah, so I mean...
There's definitely going to be a lot of people that usually wouldn't watch our stuff that would definitely know who
and like for a motherfucker like me, I know fighting, but I feel like I'd be discrediting the podcast by sitting here because I don't have much to say. So maybe I can have one on like... Or we can talk to Trace Reeder if he wants to come in here. And like, because he can sit down and relate. You do wrestling, I can't really sit down and relate to a motherfucker like Gerald. I'm like, shit, Gerald, you ever spun the block on somebody? Like, for me, I'd much rather like give somebody an opportunity to have a much better conversation than I can provide. I'm not a hater. There's episodes where...
And we're not saying we're going to do that for that episode. Because Jen's definitely going to be there for that
episode. I'm going to be there in the episode.
He's just giving an example. Because like, eventually... We want to get it to the point where we have a stable of people together.
I want to get to the point where
we actually have a defined team.
I want to get to the point where like me and Nate don't have to be behind these mics. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna definitely have episodes where I want there maybe be an episode where like one of our people come and be like, hey, I got this dude. I want to sit down with my friend and shoot a podcast. You know that, and we also want to create people that like their own segments on our show. Like we don't want every single episode to be a podcast. We don't want every single episode to be an event. Like, I want to give people an opportunity. So, like, we have, this is a good entry question into that. So, this week, we're going to have to cut that. I just burped. So, this week, we ended up getting a producer added to the team, which you'll meet him here shortly. He's going to be coming to the house here later. I don't think he's going to be on the episode, but we're going to talk things out, work out with him, and see where his position fits. And shout out to my boy Austin Vaughn Visuals. Some of y'all may know him. Basically like my little brother. Love him to death. He's going to be joining our team, but he also has his own company. So he's going to work for us. So maybe if I can give them a chance to give them their own segments, have Austin get on and maybe do it.
And that's something I was going to say is like, when we're saying team, we're not saying we're going to have like people signed to us or something like that. We just want to have other featured personalities that consistently collaborate with us. So like, essentially, what it would be is like me and Jen. We're always gonna have the pod. We'll upload our 2 videos a week, but then we'll have other people who have maybe like we could call it their own shows. Where whether it's a 10-minute portion of content they send us a week, or whether they just want to shoot their own pod and send it to us and have us upload it on our platform. We'll work out all those logistics when we get there. But when we say team, we don't mean like this person's exclusively working for us or with us or
anything
like that.
No.
We're more or less trying to create like a network of people that are working towards the same type of goal.
See, like for an example, so like Austin Vaughn, he's a videographer. He's worked with YouTubers with million subscribers. He makes music videos, and he got all that thing. So like maybe he can have his like he can make tutorials like. Teach upcoming videography, like do tutorials on how to do transitions, or like do a tutorial on like what shots to get for music videos, or do certain tutorials for certain things that involve video editing. Because I feel like there's not a lot of people in Tulsa who are giving that information out. And the goal of this whole this platform is quite literally to help people grow and teach. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for example, like maybe our producer can get on the channel and make a beat in 20 minutes, and then we can have an open. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, you guys here. So I feel like we get our boy Angel. That's his name, Angel Pax. Some of y'all might know him. He produced a lot of early juke tracks. Maybe we can have him sit down and make a whole beat on the video, and then have an open verse challenge, and then we go on Instagram. And people can battle for the beat. It'll be a free beat, but you just gotta win that bitch. The best version of the beat has the beat. I feel like that's a great challenge. Nah,
for sure. And see, like, I don't know. I feel like once we get this going and we get some people working together, people are gonna want to ride that wave and hop on that momentum with us. And that's the thing. That's kind of like what he was touching on. Is all, you might not know some of the people that we have on here, but everybody that we have on here is people that we're actually interested in ourselves, or people that we actually fuck with ourselves. We're not going to have anybody on here that we're not confident in, or that we don't, support what they do, or necessarily, have anything to talk about with them. And that's not to say that we're not open to having, different types of people on here that we might not relate to, but for the most part, anybody that we ask to be on here is somebody that we're personally interested in, and somebody that we think y'all would be personally interested in.
Yeah, another thing is, we're not down to we're down to do everything. We're down to do everything. Like, if you guys want anything from us, like, I know there's a lot of things I want to do. Like, right now, a lot of people are asking us, where's our Weekend Warriors page? And, like, the thing I was telling him is like, me and him need to get our personal pages up first, and then we can relay it to that page. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, I'm known in the town, and he's known in the town in his ways, and we both have different ways we're known. But right now, it's more of, like, trying to get a collective of people, get ourselves up, then that point where we're able to make an account and do big and do off of it, like, get things off of it. Oh.
Because that's something, like we were saying, that we would want to do with the team. We're like, We have a stable of people that are all putting into this thing collectively,
Yeah, so another plan we have, probably starting around next summer, we want to do this thing called a Weekend with the Warriors or something like that, where it's events. Like, for example, one we were talking about, we have like a Weekend with the Warriors float trip edition, where we throw a huge ass float trip for anybody who wants to come. You can come float with us for free. And then we're going to record the whole thing, document the whole thing, have everything we have, and then we're going to get like a cabin on the river. And then it's going to be entry fee to get into that, $10 entry. And then if you want a fucking bed, you can pay for I'll sell you a bed in the fucking cabin. As long as we get the money back on it. Spend the weekend with the Warriors. That'd be a thing. We got Weekend with the Warriors float trip. Oh, Weekend with the Warriors. We're going to go rent out the Tolson for the night, and you have to
exactly. And that's something that we've been talking about. So we have 4 defined different types of videos. We have our Weekend Warriors podcast. We're gonna do day in the life vlog type videos. We go to different events or things going on, and we'll just vlog our experience. We got the In the Fields, where we're going out and doing street interviews, asking people questions, shooting more just point and shoot type content, and then our big videos are going to be like our Weekend Warriors presents. Like, we just recently dropped
Beer
the Beer
Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, like, coming up within the next couple of months, once it starts to get a little colder outside, we're actually going to do the Weed Olympics. So we're kind of aiming for about November for that, and we're still getting logistics figured out as far as like how we're going to turn smoking into games. But once we do, y'all will see the flyer for that. We're going to be a little bit more selective.
Another thing I got told about that is I've been told there's already a Tulsa Weed Olympics, and I guess they're on their 4th annual event. And the owner of I was telling somebody my idea about the Weed Olympics and the Beer Olympics, and actually the founder of the fucking Weed Olympics was the person I was telling it to. He goes, "Oh, the Weed Olympics, you know about that?" And I'm like, "Oh, no." He goes, "Oh, no, we actually do that." There's actually a whole page for it. Like, it's actually a big thing. I've seen that they have like 6,000 followers on Instagram. All their it's huge. So he said that if we're willing to partner on that, we'll probably end up just partner on that. Or we could just do a mini version ourselves, whatever, or either way.
But like I was saying, for some of those future videos where we're going to do like the Weekend Warriors Presents and it's something like a Beer Olympics or a Weed Olympics, we are going to be more selective in the future of like people that we use and how we go about things, because what people don't realize is like to put an event together like that and try to get content out of it and everything to be orderly and a good experience for everyone is a lot harder than you think it would be. And
we found that out fast.
That's actually the first video that we ever shot. What was the Beer Olympics? Like we never even shot a podcast before that. We quite literally got
the only video we had shot before that is our introductory video, sitting over here in the corner,
which was 7 minutes
with
long.
no mics, no nothing. And if y'all understood how hard it was for us to record that, like we've gotten a lot better at just talking to the camera and like understanding that like unless you've done this and like sat down and talked to nobody, you don't understand how difficult this shit actually is.
No, for sure. And the thing is like we didn't understand how difficult it was going to be to record that video with the bare minimum amount of equipment that we had. We were really out there gridding it for that one. But honestly, I out of all of our videos, I'm extremely proud of how that one came out.
That one's actually on our best pace.
Yeah,
I looked today.
Just considering that I had like 2 hours of random footage from 10 different people to go through, and I was still able to sit down and make it a chronologically like in order video, and the way it turned out, I'm honestly really proud of that one. And I promise every event that we do in the future is going to be 100 times better than that. The way I look at everything that we did for the last 2 months, all this shit has really just been a learning and growing experience for us, as far as like from the Beer Olympics to sitting down with Come Through Tulsa and doing that round table and just kind of hearing other people's voices and opinions and minds on things, to getting to sit down and do the podcast with King Spencer and kind of getting to pick his brain a little bit and form somewhat of a friendship with him. And honestly, just some of the trial and error, like shit. The first podcast we shot was an hour and 20 minutes, and we ended up having to delete the whole thing a week later. So everything that we've done to this point has been trial and error to get us to the point we are now. We're just kind of taking off, honestly.
Yeah, for one, and this is something I gotta say, for me, and this is to everybody out there. Get out of my way, Dior. I want to do this because I'm gonna clip this and post this on Instagram. So one thing I want to say and get this out there, for one, shout out to King Spencer and Come Through Tulsa. Like, sure. We were taking this shit serious, but like I don't think we were taking it serious until they hit me up and King Spencer called me and we talked down. Like my whole mindset changed once I was taken into that facility, and like, bro, like when King Spencer sat down and like he like actually made me believe in this shit. Like he actually believed in us. Like he believes in our vision. He believes in everything we got going. He's like a mentor to me. Like anytime I need anything, I'll text him and be like, "Hey Spence, I have an idea, blah blah blah." We'll sit down and talk about it. He'll call me randomly throughout the week and be like, "What you working on? How you doing? I got some things I maybe want you to get on." Like a big shout out to everybody that Come Through Tulsa and King Spencer, because like King Spencer, like he literally said, "If y'all want to do this shit, y'all need a laptop." Next day I woke up, Nate calls me, "Hey, I'm outside. Let's go. We're finna go buy this MacBook Pro." Next thing you know, get the MacBook Pro. Go back the next day. Spence, we got the MacBook Pro. Okay, what we need now? All right, maybe you should focus on getting your mics. What we do? Next day, went and ordered the mics. All right, camera. Nope, got the camera. So like, he's really like...
It's a process to everything. That's something we've really had to learn.
And like, not only is that, it's like, the content we do with him has helped us. It's pushed me. Like my engagements on my account, like my account was dead as fuck. I only had like 23 profile views in the last 6 months. This last 4 days alone, I'm at like 900, just off like the information he's gave me and how to engage. Like, bro's really like took us under his wing and showed us the game. And I could not thank King Spencer more. He's helped us probably more than anybody's ever helped me in this shit at all.
No, for sure.
So big shout out to King Spencer. Come Through Tulsa. We got some shit with them coming. Y'all don't understand?
So yeah, on a less serious note, I something else I've been wanting to do on the channel is a segment I call Funny Thoughts, and this will mostly be for like the episodes that me and Jen just do together, where basically I just write down any funny thought that I have throughout the week, and then we kind of unpack it and go over it. So, one of the funny thoughts, I recently said to Jen, but I'm being dead serious when I said this, was if I die before Jen, I want an entire 175 liter bottle of Disaronno poured into my casket during the viewing of my funeral. I don't care who has a problem with it. If somebody tries to say something, if somebody tries to stop you, I'm going to have this written down as a notarized document in my will. that boy Jen pours a full bottle of Disaronno into my casket at my funeral. And if somebody objects, they can get the fuck out.
That is a wild... I wish we could turn the camera and show you how many Disaronno bottles bro has on top of his fridge. I've counted before. I think we were at 16 total empty bottles of Disaronno, but like 8 of them are full liters.
If anybody from Disaronno is watching too, tap in. I need the sponsorship.
Like, anybody knows it's been a staple over at the house.
Quite literally a spokesperson at this point.
Literally. Like, I'm pretty sure probably thousands of dollars spent on Disaronno.
I've spent more money on spilt liquor in the last year than some of these motherfuckers have made.
Nah, the one funny thought you brought up to me the other day, you said, how is it possible that Jen's wearing a belt and his pants are still sagging? That's been my funniest question I've ever been asked.
But I see more people sagging with belts than without belts. Like a motherfucker will sag just to show off their belt. Make it make sense.
I guess for me, it's just more of like, I don't wear my belt super tight. You know what I'm saying? It just naturally
So
gets
at that
lower.
point, what's the point of a belt?
I feel like the drunker I get, the lower it gets.
Was Nate right?
No, I feel like with just like, how you could put on a pair of jeans after after you pull them out the dryer, the motherfuckers might be slim fit.
I wear skinnies. Them motherfuckers stay slim fit.
Jen don't wear skinnies. Like when I came in the house and put these bitches on, they were skin tight. Now look at them. The waist is done stretched a little bit. When I first put on the jeans, they might be staying up. By the time Jen sits down a couple times, my waistband goes. They get a little low.
Stretch out a little bit. Something I was thinking about the other day, I was talking with some of the people at work about is like how things being legal automatically make them socially acceptable. Because like I remember being 17 years old and getting called a drug addict for smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy that you're talking.
And those same people have their medical marijuana card now, and it's okay because they can like get it prescribed by a doctor and go to a place and get it legally.
So yeah, this is a conversation me and my girl actually had not too long ago. We were talking about like the normalization of things, and I was saying if it has to be normalized, it's probably not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it was actually a couple months ago when they were talking about how they're trying to classify pedophilia as like an illness and make it normal. So
rather than like going to going to prison on some type of pedophilia charge, you'd go to like a mental institution. Or
yes,
something.
so like they're basically trying to make it like a mental illness. So they're basically trying to say you're born a pedophile now, which doesn't make sense to me. But the thing about me is for example, you look at like being gay for an example. That over the years has been made normalized by laws. I'm not saying, it's each their own. I really don't give a fuck what you are.
At one point in time, though, being gay was a mental illness. It was categorized as the same thing.
So you're basically trying to tell me that at some point pedophilia is going to get to the point where like being gay, where it's just going to be socially accepted? Think about it. I know it sounds outlandish, but if we did the same thing about being gay, what says we won't do it about being... They're taking the same steps, because being gay at first was considered a mental illness, and then they made laws to make it okay, and that it's like okay. And then now it's to the point where it's open.
I think as a society, we've almost got like too far with the acceptance culture, where like everyone in every group of people needs to be accepted, no matter what it is they believe. because I'm sorry, but if you're on some pedophile shit, or you're one of them motherfuckers out here in schools dressed up in drag, trying to read books to children and shit, I can't support that. I'm sorry.
So,
as somebody with young kids, if I got a newsletter from the school talking about the Tulsa Drag Society is about to come to my daughter's school and read for the second grade class, we're probably just calling out that day. We're probably just calling out that day.
So, what's your opinion about them putting gay flags in the children's classrooms? I feel like, for me, before I set you up, I'm going to tell you my opinion, because that is a question people feel like you can say. For me, I feel like being gay is a sexual classification.
For sure.
You're basically,
it's not your identity.
You're basically saying who you're fucking. I feel like that should never be taught in the classroom unless it's natural reproduction. I could understand at the age of like 14 to 16, whenever you're going to talk sexual ed.
Yes, whenever they already come in there and talk to you about that. So basically,
people be like,
stuff.
well, they teach sexual ed. No, sexual ed is teaching you how you can fucking bring a child in this world.
And how to practice safe sex and things of that nature.
So you don't get diseases, and how you don't, what pregnancy is. That's teaching you natural versions of life. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you're not allowed to read the Bible in school and talk about Jesus Christ, why are you allowed to express your sexual orientation to little kids? And that's influential. Is that not influential?
And that's the part that I have a problem with, is like, I don't have a problem with anything that anybody chooses to do in their life. That's their business. I don't like people trying to push their orientation, whether it be religious, sexual, whatever it may be.
I just thought something great.
On children, you know what I'm saying?
I just thought something great.
The only reason a child's at school is to learn the fundamentals of math, English, science, things of that nature. They're not there for you to put your personal beliefs and views on them.
So I got something great here. So think about this. They're so quick to be like, oh, vape companies are targeting kids. They're making fruity flavors. Oh, they're making things that look like school supplies. So what's the difference when you allow your sexual orientation into a classroom of young kids? So let's say, for example, your son Wade or Rylan goes and sits down in a classroom, and he's 8 years old. He's finally cognitive and can understand for his own. He goes, what's that rainbow flag mean? Oh, and your teacher's like, oh, I personally am gay. I don't like women. And then now Wade's looking at this person as his teacher, because at that age, adults' opinions matter more than anything. Yeah. Now he's looking at this dude, and now he's coming home and asking you, well, my teacher has this rainbow flag, and he says he likes boys. Why can't I? You can't. I feel like it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be trans. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you sleep with. But I feel like when you're involving the development of a child, and you're in control of a child's mind, learning, and everything, I feel like it's not okay. Because at that point, you're influencing, and it's not like, oh, he's gay because he wants to be gay. It's, no, he's gay because you're teaching him what gay is. I feel like that's the differential. Like, here lately, the spikes of being gay have went so high, and people are like, oh, well, people are comfortable now. No, a lot of people don't have
an identity,
so they find a wave, and it makes them feel wanted.
And that's literally what I said at the beginning of this when you asked me that question about the flag. Is like, I don't think that's something that should define you as a person. Just like the people that smoke weed, and they're wearing the fucking weed T-shirt and the 420 hat, and it's their only hobby. I don't think one aspect of anybody's life should define them as a person, whether it be your religion or your sexuality or your personal interest or whatever it may be. I think if you come to the point as a grown adult and you're in a place where you're learning and growing and changing every day, no one thing is going to define you as a person.
Yeah, I just don't like. We say that big business targets our kids every day. Oh, alcohol. They're making seltzers now that's targeting young kids because it tastes good. Or they're making vapes. They're doing this. Why is that conversation never brought up about the LGBT community? Like I said, I have nothing against LGBT community.
Yeah, we're not sitting here hating.
I don't care if you're gay. I don't care who you're sleeping with.
We're just having an open conversation.
I've had gay friends. I mean, as long as you don't try to force your beliefs on me and touch me and do weird shit with me, I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care who you sleep with that night. If you're a cool person, you're a cool person. That's just how I am with me. But I don't like that we're starting to add that into like the curriculum of kids. I feel like that would be like, I don't know, like I just don't feel like that's right. I feel like maybe in the later years, like in high school, maybe.
I feel like it can be taught as like a history subject, the same way like women's rights and things like that.
Women's rights and like,
where it's like this group, this group of people was at one time. Was at one time in a different place, and through the efforts of these people, they were able to come to a place of equal rights. I think all that's fine and great, and like I said, I support all that shit. I just don't think that shit should be taken into like an elementary school to impressionable minds and pushed on anybody in any type of way.
Yeah, same thing we think. I mean, if they do it with Christianity and Muslims, like they do it with every sort of religion. They don't really allow religion in schools at all. But why are we allowing that in schools? And that's the question for y'all. We're not trying to be hateful and say we don't. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm just saying personally, like, you gotta think when you go to school, they don't force being straight on you. They don't teach being straight as a course. They teach you a course about what sex is, what sex can cause. But you don't have shit in school that's like, okay, Johnny, you have to go get with the girl and have kids. Like, that's what you have to do. But they don't do that. So I just feel like, I just don't like extremists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't like extremists in any aspect.
Like, I don't like extreme whites. I don't like extreme blacks. I don't like extreme gays. I like the ability to be able to agree and to disagree. And I feel like once you bring that extremeness part into it, you take away the ability to disagree. It comes to that point where it's, I'm right, you're wrong. And I don't believe that's not what this nation was built on. That's not how it started. I like the ability to be like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. I don't look at you different, you don't look at me different, and we just agree to disagree.
I think
it's okay. I feel like we've lost that aspect.
I think when you put yourself in a box like that, where you're like, you identify with a certain group of people or with whatever it is that like your orientation is, whether it be religious or sexual or whatever, you're putting yourself in a box to where you can't relate to other people. No matter what somebody else says, no matter how good of a point it is or how much logic is in it, you have to disagree because you already set yourself in this box. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't disagree, you're not a part of your cause. You don't stand on what you're saying. I feel like that's where a lot of people are at with things in today's society, whether it be politics or religion or whatever. It's like, once you identify as this is what I am, you have to stand on that. And that's why I've never been in any of that shit. I've never registered to vote. I've never,
Yeah, I'm registered to vote, but I've never voted. But it's more of like, I just feel like,
I'm not trying to identify with a group of people based off of.
But that's what they want.
Few things
like,
that I believe in.
But that's what they want, because like, think about every aspect of life. There's division somewhere. There's division. You got people identify as races. There's division between races. There's divisions between sexual orientation. Now sexual orientation can be race and orientation. So now you have a double division. And then you have politics, which now can be gay, Democrat, and gay. And then you have straights, whites. There's so many divisions. They're dividing us in so many different ways because they don't want us to become one. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
They don't. We have too much power. Once we're all cognitively strong together and realize we can all become one and really run this motherfucker, they don't want that.
But yeah, anyways, like we said, we have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of things coming to y'all in the near future, a lot of exciting news. So, just keep rocking with us. And I promise this is the new floor of how things are going to look and sound from here on out. And things are only going to keep getting better and better, like I've said and like we've been saying. So, just keep rocking with us. Keep giving us time. Keep being patient with us. And I promise things are only going to get more consistent and better from here on out.
It's Jensen the Motive.
It's been Nate. Weekend Warriors, episode 4. We appreciate y'all tapping in again. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have somebody you'd like to see on here, let us know in the comments. If you're somebody that's watching that would like to be on here, message us on Instagram, and we'll see if we can't, get something figured out. But it's been the Weekend Warriors.
Untitled, baby.
I've been trapping all day, couldn't get away from my dope scale. I'm a cold stunner, road runner, you got no bells. More money, I need more sales, make it hell.